Imagine stepping into darkness. Your lantern flickers across a corridor, untouched for over 2,000 years. Dust motes swirl in the amber light. And then you see them, faces. Hundreds of clay warriors, frozen in eternal formation, their eyes staring through you across the centuries. This is the threshold between discovery and disaster. Would you dare to cross it? Would you risk disturbing the army of China's first emperor, knowing that legends speak of a curse that has claimed lives, destroyed families, and haunted those who dared unearth secrets meant to guard the journey to immortality? On March 29, 1974, 7 peasant farmers from Yang village near Xi'an weren't thinking about curses. They were thinking about survival. A severe drought had gripped the region, and they needed water. Yang Zhifa and his brothers, along with their neighbor Wang Puji, were digging a well when their shovels struck something hard about 15 meters down. It was a terracotta head, life-sized and eerily lifelike. Yang Zhifa, desperate and pragmatic, broke the head off with a hammer, thinking perhaps it was worth a few packets of cigarettes. But when they brought it back to the village, fear set in. Was this a temple statue? A Buddha? The farmers were terrified to touch it, sensing they had disturbed something sacred. They were right to be afraid. What they had found was just one fragment of over 8,000 terracotta soldiers, archers, cavalry, and charioteers, an entire army buried in 210 BCE to protect Emperor Qin Shi Huang in the afterlife. The emperor's paranoia about death was legendary. Obsessed with achieving immortality, he consumed mercury elixirs, believing the toxic metal would preserve him forever. The irony is almost unbearable. The very substance he trusted to grant eternal life likely poisoned him. But his preparations for the afterlife were extraordinary. According to the historical writings of Sima Qian, recorded over a century after the emperor's death, the tomb was engineered as a fortress against intruders. Rivers of liquid mercury were constructed to flow mechanically through a vast subterranean replica of the Chinese Empire, simulating the Yangtze and Yellow Rivers. Automated crossbow traps were installed, triggered by pressure plates, designed to kill anyone who dared breach the sealed chambers. These weren't symbolic deterrents. They were lethal engineering marvels, built by a man who refused to let death diminish his power. Local legends had warned for centuries. Disturb the emperor's rest, and disaster would follow. And disaster did follow. Wang Puji, one of the 7 discoverers, hung himself in 1997. He was 60 years old, suffering from acute heart disease, unable to afford medicine. He waited until his family left the house, slipped a rope around his neck, and ended his suffering. Within 3 years, 2 more of the original farmers were dead. Yang Yanxin succumbed to a horrific skin disease that caused his body to rot away. Yang Wenhai died at home in excruciating pain, also without access to medical care. 3 of the 7 men who made one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in history were dead within a generation, their lives marked by poverty and tragedy. The surviving farmers fared little better. The land their families had cultivated for centuries was seized by the Chinese government to build exhibition halls, museums, and gift shops. Their ancient village was demolished. The booming tourist industry around the Terracotta Army generates millions, but the men who discovered it, they were compensated with 10 credit points from their collective farm brigade leader, the equivalent of about 5 British pence. Today, the 4 surviving discoverers earn roughly £2 per day, sitting in souvenir shops, signing books for tourists. Yang Kuan-yi, now 79 years old, spent 3 months learning to write his own name, just so he could do this work. Perhaps the most haunting statement comes from Liu Shiqin, Yang Kuan-yi's wife. She said her husband always worries they did something wrong by discovering the warriors. He fears they brought misfortune and still wonders if the soldiers should have been left beneath the ground. Yang Kuan-yi himself has vowed never to set eyes on the Terracotta Army again. So what are we to make of this? Skeptics argue convincingly that the curse is nothing more than the brutal reality of displacement, inadequate compensation, and political inequity. The farmers' suffering reflects systemic injustice in rural China during rapid development. Officials and businessmen profited enormously, while the discoverers received nothing. There are scientific hazards, too. Mercury poisoning is a genuine threat. Modern testing has confirmed elevated mercury vapor around the site, a toxic legacy of the emperor's obsession. But here's what science can't fully explain: why this particular cluster of tragedies befell these specific men. For those who lived it, the curse feels real. It's a thread connecting the ancient world to our present, a reminder that some boundaries, once crossed, carry consequences we don't fully understand. Whether you attribute it to politics, environmental hazards, or something more supernatural, the weight of those men's suffering is undeniable, and the greatest mystery remains unopened. The central tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang has never been excavated. In 2023, researchers using differential absorption LiDAR laser radar confirmed what the ancient text described: elevated mercury vapor levels, measuring an outflux of 5 × 10⁻⁸ kilograms per second. Over 2 millennia, roughly 1 ton of mercury has leaked from an estimated 100 tons or more contained within. Ground-penetrating radar and magnetic surveys have detected anomalies suggesting intact chambers and potentially still-functioning mechanical traps. Chinese authorities have made the decision to leave the tomb sealed, prioritizing preservation and safety over the tantalizing prospect of discovery. The question haunts us: what lies beneath? Are the mercury rivers real? Do the crossbow traps still work? And does the curse extend to anyone who dares enter the emperor's final resting place? History isn't just about dates and artifacts. It's about the people who touch the past and the consequences that ripple forward. The legend of the Terracotta Army's curse endures because it asks us to consider a fundamental question: is some history best left undisturbed? Or does our hunger for knowledge justify the risks? I want to hear from you. Do you believe in ancient curses? Or do you think this is pure coincidence and systemic injustice? What historical mystery should we uncover next on Times Chronicle? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story moved you, share it with someone who loves history's darkest corners. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, the past is never truly buried.